What's up, y'all? Candy Girl here with the much anticipated, probably not that much anticipated update on my life and what's been going on. Where have I been? Because I've been MIA per usual, if you know how I am. But this time it's for a good reason. I'm pregnant. My husband and I are expecting our first child. And this is a first child for the both of us. And it has been quite the experience. I am nauseous a lot. Surprisingly, the morning sickness, it's not in the morning. It's like all day. And it's hardly ever in the morning. It's usually pretty much right when I get off of work and I'm driving home and I'm like almost home. When I get home, I pretty much guaranteed have to throw up. And then at night. And one thing that I really particularly hate is after dinner when I am sitting in the bed and I'm not even laying all the way down. I just might be reclined back. You know what I'm saying? Just relax. Child, I will throw up. So, just been having some very interesting pregnancy sickness and just tired all the time. I am now out of my first trimester, so I'm actually have more energy than I've had in the last 3 months. So, doing good. I think that my biggest sign of pregnancy was that I got extremely tired, completely out of the blue. We were exercising, eating right, and taking our vitamins. I felt on top of the world. And then all of a sudden, baby, I felt like I was hit by a freaking train carrying a ton of bricks, because all of a sudden I just was like so tired. It hurt to open my eyes in the morning. I thought that my husband played a joke on me and set my alarm for literally 15 minutes after I had finally dozed off to sleep, and that every single morning this just had to be a joke because I was extremely exhausted. And I would just come home from work and go straight to bed. There have been times where I just hadn't eaten dinner. I would just go to bed. So I just been too tired to keep up on current events, to care about anything in the world except for the fact that I'm throwing up and really tired. But the baby's healthy and thriving. It's a girl. We have landed on her name. It's Isabella Mertice. And I think it's a very beautiful, royal sounding name that is racially ambiguous, that is very important to us. So that's that. Now, on a related topic, I was on Facebook. Oh, speaking of Facebook, if anybody on here is my Facebook friend, which is really like 2 people, but if anybody is my Facebook friend, please do not post anything about my pregnancy on Facebook, because I still have coworkers that have, I have not told yet. I have not told everybody at my job yet, but I'll probably do it soon. But I just don't want it to be like something that I don't announce. I kind of want to do it on my own time. So if you're on my Facebook, don't say nothing. But anyway, I would think it goes beyond without saying, but unfortunately it does not. You would just be surprised. But anyway, so okay, on a related note, I was on Facebook and somebody, this is like the 3rd time that I had seen this same meme / like repost of somebody's status on Facebook. So it's the 3rd person that had reposted this, and it was just so frustrating. And I think that it's just kind of, it's out of line, and I'll tell you why. So the post was that they said, y'all men expect us to carry your child for 9 months, breastfeed them, do all the housework, care for the child, plus pay our 50% of all household expenses. That ain't 50-50, homie. And I'm like, okay, that may not be 50-50. But the fact that it was being reposted so many times was frustrating to me, because while that young lady may have that issue, that is not necessarily my issue. That's not necessarily even the typical issue if you really were to ask all of the women out there who are married. Yes, they may feel like they pull more weight than they should, but something that I've had to reevaluate within myself, and something that I would encourage other people to do, is that there are things that the husband does that we don't necessarily do all the time. Classic example, my husband cuts the grass, he trims the bushes, and he does that once a week, once every other week at the very least. He fixes things around the house, and I'm talking goes up in the attic, rearranges wiring. He's fixing the washer machine right now instead of us hiring a mechanic to come and do it. Fixes things with the cars. I mean, there's so many things that my husband personally does that I don't do. So if there are things that I do, or that I do more often than he does, then that's okay, because that's what a partnership is about. You take your strengths and the things that you're able to do, and they take their strengths and the things that they're able to do. But I feel like a lot of people that are reposting this stuff, either that's what you're truly going through, which is really your personal problem, or you're being a little bit ungrateful because you're not looking at the whole big picture and the things that that person may do that you're not doing. Because I ain't pushing no lawnmower around. Now, a lot of people, including women, enjoy doing that. They enjoy the gardening and all that kind of stuff. I don't. And I've never had to do it. And I've even told my husband, like, look, let's get a lawn service or whatever. He's like, no, we can keep that money in our pocket and do something else with it. I'll do it. And I applaud him for that. And not only that, but he cooks, he cleans. And I'm not even saying like, oh, he helps me with the cooking. No. Especially since I've been pregnant, he has been cooking damn near 90% of the time and doing the dishes. And before we were pregnant, he was doing that, not 90% of the time, but at least 50. So, we got to start being a little bit more grateful. Now, let's say that your husband or significant other does not pull as much weight, and you're doing 75% of the work, including the child rearing. Well, baby, let me tell you, that's a personal problem that you need to evaluate with your man, because guess what? Something tells me that you're an intelligent individual who has a brain that can also see with their eyes or feel with their heart that this person probably does not like to do a lot of household things, probably is not the main one running to little doting babies and things like that, or volunteering to babysit other people's kids. They may have wanted to have sex with you, but that didn't necessarily mean that they wanted to have a child with you. And even if they did, they were maybe telling you what you wanted to hear, but you didn't really see that in the pattern of their behavior even before y'all met. You know what I'm saying? With my husband, he'd helped raise at least 8 children that I can think of off the top of my head. And I'm talking about an extremely active role, a very regular, consistent, positive, and very involved role in 6 to 8 children's lives that were not his own. Because mind you, these are both our first child. This is both our first child. So, I could tell that he's going to be a good father. Whereas other people, they're talking about, oh, they don't do anything. Well, was he doing much before y'all got married, or before y'all shacked up, or before y'all had kids? Like, a lot of times you'll see that their house is a mess. You know what I'm saying? If their house is a mess, or if they live at home with their mama, but you don't never hear about them, busting some suds or vacuuming the house or on Saturday doing a Saturday deep clean or whatever, if that is not something that you've known them to do, then don't be surprised if when y'all get to living with each other that he's not going to be doing that. So for somebody to go on Facebook and just shout their man out in their own personal business that really should not be public knowledge in the first place, for you to shout that person out acting like you were just completely blindsided, I think not. And, I was talking to my husband about, a similar issue even before I had seen this meme. And it was just about like how rare I thought that he was, as far as just how involved he's been with our pregnancy, how much how helpful he's been, and basically, just how excited he's been about the pregnancy, just everything. I just felt like this is really, really awesome. And he was like, that's the fella's fault. He said, us men need to really shun and call out the men who are not doing what they need to be doing in their women's lives. There's too many men out here having multiple kids with multiple baby mamas and not taking care of their responsibilities. And I'm not talking about just child support. I mean, he's saying being an active part in these children's lives. And he was like, I wouldn't have space to even intervene and be a father figure for these people if their father was taking care of business. I would just be a good friend. You know what I'm saying? And then on my end, I'm just like, well, why these women keep on laying up with men that they don't really know well enough to see how would they be with a child? How would they be as a husband? Why is it that, they're acting so shocked? He was like, touche. So I feel like on both ends, people are being permissive of bad behavior, and there's really no incentive to be a better man unless you truly just want to be a better man yourself without anybody else's motivation, So anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I understand that there's just some deadbeat people out there, and maybe they told you something and they were treating you like a queen, and then all of a sudden they just flipped on you. But something tells me that there have been signs, but sometimes we choose to acknowledge what is right in front of our face because we're too insecure to go at it alone and take a risk by ending the relationship with that person and looking for something better, or just being content with being alone. And because of that, we're settling and then finding out that this person is a deadbeat. And let me not forget this as well. There are a lot of deadbeat women out there too, who just get knocked up hoping to lock a man down when they realize that is not the way to go. Now they resent their child and they're not a good mother, So we're not just talking about the men, but because of the meme that I saw or the repost that I saw, it really just made me infuriated that people are pointing the finger when you need to be looking at yourself. And then number two, like, we need to be highlighting the good men out there, the people who are actually doing stuff. Not to say that you deserve $1 million for being exactly the person that you should be, but because it's so absent in society right now, we do need to glorify that so that more people are inspired to follow suit. And it's just like when you see minorities or immigrants or something like that, or even the low income who are rising above society's expectations of them. We want to highlight those people so that other people can see that, hey, if they can do it, I can do it too. And seeing how they were able to overcome certain dynamics or impediments that were in their way. We need to see those people shining And we need to highlight those people, even though, yeah, they're just doing what is minimally expected of them, which is to better themselves. But at the same time, it's still something that should be admired and celebrated, so that it could be an inspiration of other people. All right, y'all, I'm done gabbing. I will talk to y'all later. Y'all let me know, how my seatbelt looking today. Is it looking straight? Am I safe? Is the baby safe? All right, y'all. Love and blessings. Until next time, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. All right. Bye-bye.